Defending President Trump, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton is leading a 15-state coalition supporting the president's revised immigration order. This comes as the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit will hear the appeal of the travel ban on May 8th. Joining us right now to talk more about it is the Heritage Foundation president, former South Carolina Senator Jim DeMint. Senator, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Maria, great to be with you. Good morning.
And good morning to you. So South Carolina is one of the states supporting the president's travel ban. What's your reaction now to this 15-state coalition defending the president? Talk to us about where you come out on this.
These temporary travel restrictions are constitutional, they're legal, and they make a lot of common sense. These 6 countries are not able to properly screen travelers. We know a lot of ISIS fighters have migrated to these countries. So until we can vet these travelers more carefully, it just makes good common sense for the safety of the public. I'm glad South Carolina is part of it.
It may make common sense, but he keeps getting pushback.
From 1 or 2 judges. But,
right. And how are they able to knock it down, even just temporarily?
You wonder why it should work that way, but when we've got this many states pushing back, it's obvious that they understand the potential danger to their citizens. So, again, it's just common sense. It has nothing to do with religion or ethnic origin or whatever. We just know there are a lot of ISIS fighters there.
But, Senator, we have seen, you for years crusaded against activist judges. And now we see almost kind of a never-Trump jurisprudence out there. I mean, there are judges who seem to want to oppose everything the president does. How is he going to deal with that? He's got 4 years. How is he going to deal with that?
I don't know. Hopefully there won't be too many more executive orders like this, but there very well could be because of a lot of the regulations they're trying to take down. And this is what the lawyers call venue shopping. They can look all over the country and find one liberal judge.
Do you think there are going to be a couple of lawsuits concerning a wall on the U.S.-Mexico border?
Sure there will, but I think the administration, once Jeff Sessions gets in place, you're going to see him repeal these more rapidly and get them to another court. And they're not going to hold up because the president clearly has this authority to protect the country, and it is a temporary travel restriction. It's certainly not a ban on all Muslim countries or anything like that, so there's no way they can prove that. But I'm glad to see states pushing back on this and other issues. The federal government has intruded into what states should be doing in many, many areas, so this is a good sign.
Yeah, taken.
Senator, what is the workaround, though, with the roadblocks that these judges have thrown up for this travel ban? What can and what is the Trump administration doing to improve the vetting, to make sure that the people entering the United States are safe?
Well, I'm sure there's a lot they can do, but since there's not proper vetting on the other side where the travelers leave from, it makes it very difficult to control who comes, and that's why the travel ban makes a lot of sense. But the best thing the administration can do is just appeal rapidly to another court, and I think it'll be struck down because, again, a lot of legal scholars have looked at this executive order. It is certainly within his constitutional purview.
It is, and we're coming off of a very successful week with the nomination and the confirmation of Neil Gorsuch to the Supreme Court, as well as really broad global support for the military strikes in Syria. But can he use that as leverage to get the rest of his agenda through? I mean, this immigration ban has been a nightmare for him from the get-go. It can't get past go.
Well, he's going to have to work within the system. I suspect he will. But I think once the one court knocks down one of these rulings, that's the precedent. It'd be very unlikely, I think, other judges would join on the same thing. But again, on some regulations, on building the wall or whatever. But the wall has been a law for 6 or 7 years now, so I can't imagine a judge coming in, although I guess there are a lot of things I can't imagine.
It could happen. Let me ask you, change the subject a little bit about the president staffing his administration. You mentioned Jeff Sessions a couple of minutes ago. I think there are 113,000 employees in the Justice Department, and there is one Senate-approved Trump appointee, and that's the Attorney General Jeff Sessions. There are 500-plus jobs in the executive branch that require Senate confirmation. The president has gotten very, very few of them through, and he hasn't nominated a lot of jobs. So what's going on there?
Well, that is a problem. We know a lot of these cabinet secretaries secretaries are understaffed. Their deputy secretaries are not in place. The Senate has some names they have not acted on, I believe around 40, but there are hundreds of more, as you mentioned, that have not been sent over.
Why?
So I don't know. I know the names are there because I know the Heritage Foundation worked on helping to collect a lot of names for the different agencies from around the country of people that we knew were high quality. I think it's just a matter of administration getting to it. You know, my experience working with the administration on various things so far is they've been very competent, organized, and nothing like you see in the media. It wouldn't surprise me if there was some internal tension. There always is when there are big decisions being made. They responded really well on the, I think, national security front in Syria, very promptly, very targeted. So most of what we see coming out of the Trump administration has been very thoughtful in my mind.
What's the agency with the most understaffing issues? Is it the State Department?
I know that's one that has the most problems, that is still operating under a lot of Obama hangovers, we might say. And there are a lot of problems around the world that we're hearing from foreign delegations at Heritage that they need to change out the staff and get the country, our country, focused on really building alliances rather than promoting a political agenda.
That's a big deal, and maybe the reason that we see all these leaks. And, you know, when you look in the intelligence community, all of the Obama holdovers, maybe that's why he has such pushback and leaks and undermining. Don't you think there's undermining within his government?
Yeah, clearly there is.
What about infighting within the White House, Senator? Have you come in contact with any of that? Because, again, leaking can come from your foe and your friend.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I've been there a fair amount, and Priebus and Bannon seem to be working well together on the issues that we've been involved with. I thought the White House came in a very good way on the Obamacare repeal, with Vice President Pence getting involved and settling things down.
Well, there are issues there, because I know that Paul Ryan is just, you know, dominated by health care, but a lot of people in business feel that tax reform is much more important than health care reform in terms of moving the needle on economic growth.